who I have here. It's
Jenna.
We're going to talk about the 3 best things and the 3 worst things from Jenna's point of view of having a family business that breeds dogs. So,
Yes.
Jenna, take it away. The first best thing
It's having your own money.
is having your own money. I've talked before that my kids clock in, clock out. They get an hourly rate. They have specific jobs and things they need to do. I will say, and I've said before on camera, Jenna can do everything from labor and deliveries to puppy evaluations to every shift, and even learning how to do artificial insemination. That should have been on one of your worst. That should have been one of the worst, yeah. Okay, number 2.
Is labors. I love labors.
Why do you like labor and delivery?
Because, I don't know, I've always kind of just wanted to be a vet.
Yeah. We know more.
So I just like doing them.
She's like the medical yucky side of it, which is funny because that's one of my least favorite things to do actually is labor and delivery. And I'm not a night owl, and they usually deliver at night, and she loves staying up and door dashing McDonald's and watching a Netflix show.
Yep.
What else?
That's about it.
That's about it. All right. And number 3
Is go home days.
go home days, because we love finally getting to see the puppies go to their forever family, and it's so rewarding.
Yeah.
And
they finally get to leave.
they finally get to leave. Jenna's like, I like go home days because they finally go home. And I'm like, well, yes, that too. Okay,
Yeah.
Now let's tackle the 3 worst things about working for your family business.
Evaluations.
Go ahead.
I'm just so burnt out on them. Like, they're just such a chore now.
Yeah, it's a struggle, and we do the struggle best every evaluations now. And I know so many of you, like, you want Jenna to teach a class, you want Jenna to teach your kids. Look, we're struggling over here because she is burnt out, like so tired of doing them. But she did promise me, we've been invited to go back to Australia, and she will be going to Australia and doing the evaluations live at a seminar and walking through and talking, and we do make a good team.
Yeah.
When we do them, because we know each other really well, and we both know dogs really well, and we do make a dynamite team, even though Jenna, and I'll be honest, it's a lot. We're a little burnt out over here. Okay, number 2.
Is working at a young age and being tied down to that.
What age did you start working?
I couldn't even tell you. I was in diapers.
She was toddling around in those little footy pajamas with puppies pulling at those little footy pajamas and biting her diaper, and she's been toddling around with her binkies being stolen and diapers being bitten at and chased.
Yep.
She's been she doesn't know. You don't know any other life.
No.
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 And the 3rd worst thing,
Having a mom as a boss.
that's difficult to navigate, and I have talked about this on other videos as well. Is it's a really difficult thing to navigate, trying to be a parent, trying to be a boss, and that squishy line where I sometimes have to be like, okay, I'm your boss right now, or I'm your mom right now, and it's I don't always do the best job. And then there's times Jen and I've talked about, like, okay, you have to tell me, like, be in the mom mode right now. Don't be in the boss lecture mode or the boss teaching mode. Just be a mom. Be in the mom mode, and don't lecture, and don't. That's the best word, right? Like when I just lecture and you're like, I just need you to be my mom and just listen to me. I don't need a bunch of advice and lecturing.
Yeah.
And I'm bad at that. I think probably from being a teacher for so long and then being a boss. So that's something. You try to remind me. You don't remind me enough, though. Probably.
Probably not.
Probably not. All right. Well, there you have it. The top 3 best things and worst things from Jenna's point of view of living this breeding lifestyle for all of you out there that are working with your kids. Hats off to you. It's a difficult line to navigate. There's so many good things and bad things of teaching kids to work for their family business, and determination and grit and work ethic and the value of a dollar. But there are some cons too, and burnout and it affecting relationships is definitely something to consider. What
are the 3 biggest mistakes you can make when trying to potty train a puppy? I'm going to tell you, it's one of my least favorite things to do. I will avoid it like the plague. I definitely love doggy doors because I can potty train much faster, and especially if you get a puppy from a breeder, like our breeding program, they're already trained to the doggy door, so it's a really easy transition. Word of caution is, though, you're not fully potty training your puppy if you train them to the doggy door first and only, because you're not teaching them 2 really important skills. One is for them to tell you if they have to go to the bathroom. The second is to learn to hold it until you let them out, because with the doggy door, they can come and go whenever they want. So they lose those 2 important skills. So I always advise everybody to potty train them correctly first so that they acquire those 2 skills, they practice those 2 skills, they understand I can't just go when I want to go, and I need to tell my human I have to go. So I potty train first, and you can always add a doggy door later when they get older, which is what I have done. And of course, it's the best thing ever to have a doggy door. But what are 3 mistakes people make when potty training a new puppy? Because this is one of the top complaints breeders will get, is this dog is not potty training. This dog is still pooping and peeing everywhere. So here's the top 3 things. The number 1 mistake people make is they give them far too much space. These are den animals. If there's enough to lay right here and potty right here, they will. And so we're giving them way too much space, so they don't care. Like, there's no difference to them. The other is that they love carpet. It doesn't always smell good, right? So it has the right kind of smell to pee or poop on, and if they pee on it, it disappears. They don't have to walk back through it. So carpet should be picked up really small space. This is when you invest in fencing that you can push up against the back door, let's say, the same door that you let them out, and gradually give them more and more space, because you're just really practicing and showing them where they need to go potty. The second mistake is no schedule. You have to watch them. They're just not going to innately know how to tell you they have to go to the bathroom, right? So always first thing when they wake up, after they eat and drink, always right in the middle of their playtime. You'll start to see them circling and sniffing right in the middle of play, before bedtime. And then lots of times in between, just keep taking your puppy out. If you feel like they should have gone to the bathroom and they didn't, put them in their kennel, set a timer for 15 minutes, take them back outside, wait for them to go potty. If they didn't go potty, you know they really need to, back in the kennel for 10 minutes and then back outside. Like, it's a lot of work up front, but once you get it right, you've got a dog potty trained for the rest of their life. The more accidents they have inside, the longer it's going to take to get them to potty train to potty outside, because the foundation hasn't been laid correctly. So every accident they have in the house, ultimately, it's our fault. It's our fault for not watching them. It's our fault for not following a schedule. It's our fault for not giving them too much space. If you are having that problem, you can always moderate their water. So if you need to get them on a better schedule, only give them water at certain times so you can time it better when they need to pee. All right. Typically, puppies poop 2 to 3 times a day. So in the morning, sometimes in the afternoon, and generally in the evening, of course, because people feed AM and PM, and they usually poop after they eat in the morning and then after dinner. The third biggest mistake is inconsistency, especially if you have kids helping and different adults helping. It's really interesting to see how different people will take the puppy out to go potty. Some just open the door and kind of push them out and shut the door. Others go out and make this big production and play and go potty, go potty. Others take them out a different door. Some take them out on a leash. Some take them to the rocks. Some take them to the turf. Like, it's crazy to see, like, even in a home of 4 people, all 4 people will do it differently. When there's that much inconsistency, you're not laying this foundation down. This is where I go to the bathroom. This is how I go to the bathroom. This is the routine and structure to get me outside, and this is where I go when I'm outside. So talk as a family. Make sure this is the only door we're going to use. We're going to have the puppy walk out on their own or in the middle of the night. Of course, you can carry the puppy. We're going to take the puppy to the same space every single time. It doesn't mean they're always going to go potty there, but just be really consistent, and even how everybody takes them out to go potty the same way. There's so many new things your puppy's learning at home, so just really nail down consistency, small space, and a schedule for potty training, and typically within 3 days, you should have minimal accidents after that.
I
do have a mini lesson about this if you go to badassbreeder.com and go to webinars. And if you join the mini series, one of the first ones I did was like, how do you budget as a breeder? How do you know when to hire staff? How do you know when you can quit your other job? Like, how do you know this business will be self-sustaining? Or how do you know when you can make a profit? Like, how do you know when the business will first support itself and then can you make a profit from it? And those are all really loaded questions, first of all. Really difficult to figure out when we're dealing with the mercy of Mother Nature. But here's just a few things I did. And of course, there are so many variables to this. So I'm just giving you a glossy, shiny, summative of kind of how I figured it out initially. Because if you didn't know, I was a teacher for 10 years and taught middle school at-risk kids mainly. Loved my at-risk kids, and taught accelerated high-performing kids too. So I was lucky to teach a lot of different types of kids. I mainly taught English, but I taught, I did photography and media. We did the morning announcements, the videography, which was all just so much fun for me. But I was the first teacher in Clark County, which is a Las Vegas area. It's one of the largest school districts in the United States to implement a dog full-time in the classroom. But I learned so much from that, which led me to trying to buy a dog to replace my personal dog because he hated it. As much good as he was doing, he hated being there. And this is when I got the first taste of, I chose some bad breeders, and I chose breeders that had no clue about the temperament of their puppy or anything, and got scammed. Three puppies I bought, and all three were just kind of a mess. So anyway, long story short, that's why I'm here. But trying to figure out, like, when do I walk away from my career to do this full time? And maybe some of you don't, and that's okay too. Like, having it kind of more as a hobby because you love it and you enjoy it. You only want a few litters a year. I did that, starting. That's great too. So first of all, you have to decide, what do you want to do? Do you want to do this full time, or you just want to do it as a hobby and only have a couple dogs at a time and just have 2 litters a year? I had to sit down and of course figure out all my bills, and then figure out, let's say, how many females I had, and I counted each female to give me 1 litter a year. But then I subtracted 25% of that because I said, well, Mother Nature, 25% of those dogs won't have a litter, okay? I always err on the side of pretty much worst case scenario. So like, even when I do my own personal budget, like, I always budget things high, so then I feel probably better about myself because I'm like, oh, look, I have extra money because I didn't spend it all, because I just go higher than I think it will be. And then of course there's those months that you're like, oh, dang, like that was a bad month, right? So I do that. That is one thing about me. So, I do tend to err on the side of less than probably realistic, but it's worked out for me. Okay. So 25% of my females, I counted, I wouldn't have a litter. We'd have a failed pregnancy. And then I did average for the breed I was doing, but you need to average for the breed you're doing. What is the average litter size? And then how much you're going to charge. And then you have to really try, which is really difficult, try to figure out how much will each puppy cost you. So is there a profit? So my kind of thing was like 25% won't produce. 8 is great for me. 8 puppies for me paid the bills. Anything over 8 went into a vacation fund for me so I could take my family on vacation. And it was really important for me as a mom, for my kids to see as much as the world as possible when we had time. And or anything over 8 that I was able to do renovations, remodeling, buy nicer things for the dogs, buy another dog for the program, that kind of thing. So my mind, it was really kind of simple. Like, anything over 8 gave me some flexibility to do other things. And then you just get to the point, well, how many breeding females do I need if I did do this full time? What does that look like? It's really complicated. I wish, I went to accountants and had them try to figure me out and just help me figure it out. It's really difficult. So there's just kind of a few tips and tricks on how can you kind of figure out a budget for your program. Thanks for shotgun with me today. If you want way more extensive and detailed, jump on the mini series because I just share it all, like the actual numbers. Bye.